Good afternoon. It is Friday, January 17th. Can you believe we are halfway through January already? It's going to go by fast this year. This is Miss Jenny. Oh my goodness. I'm still in teacher mode a little bit. So let me see. I am looking for myself on Facebook so I can see comments. There I am. And it is 4 o'clock on the dot. Welcome. We're going to be working with Color in Bloom today. It's a celebration catalog. We can earn through a celebration catalog. Let me find my celebration catalog and I'll show it to you. But it's one of the first ones that caught my eye. Here's our celebration catalog. And it is in the back, towards the back. There it is. It's called Corner in Bloom. It's on page 14. Good afternoon, Tammy. Welcome. Welcome to Fun Friday. So this was one that caught my eye. It was the very first thing out of all of the celebrations. I'm like, I gotta have that. I love the flowers. I love the corner. I love how Stampin' Up has gone in this catalog and the January to April mini catalog. They are going to stamps that have a corner look so you can put them on the edge or in the corners of cards. I don't know, there's something about them. And then to see how they've turned them into rectangles and squares is awesome as well. But anyway, this you can earn free with a $120 purchase through Stampin' Up. From any of their catalogs and online, anything that you can find online in their last chance product, in the 2025 January to April mini catalog, the 24 to 25 annual catalog, and I believe paper pumpkin subscriptions count, and anything you can find online. And so this comes free with a $120 purchase. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on. I'm going to make 2 cards for you today instead of just 1. So it's a special 2. And it's actually more of like 2.5 or 3, because I'm going to show you one that I'm going to do, and then I'm going to show you how you can step it up. So let's go ahead and we're going to make our first card here. Our first card that we're going to make is uses the Bright and Beautiful Designer Series paper. It uses the fun patterns from the online exclusives. It's one of the more slender embossing folders that can actually go through. Thank you, Patty. I'm glad you think it's pretty. This embossing folder, and I think there's another one that goes in this pattern. It's a 2-set. This are the only ones that actually fit through the mini embossing machine, Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So anyway, I'm tripping over my words. So we use that as well as the corner stamp. And then my sentiment comes from Simply Said. And we're going to do this. And then this is what the inside looks. So we'll go ahead and get started. We have Shy Shamrock. Last week I was telling you how I hadn't worked with it before, wasn't really, it wasn't a big one for me that I really cared for. And then I started using it. And last week I used it with Berry Burst and it was beautiful. And then when I wanted to play with the Corner in Bloom, one of the stamp we're using right now reminds me of daisies. Like the ones that you would make chains out of when you were little. And I never could do it, but I had friends who would take these daisies and they'd pick them and they'd make chains out of them and make headbands and things like that out of them. But anyway, it reminds me of that. So I wanted to go with the green and yellow. And so we're going Shamrock Green. And it's 11 by 4 1/4. And we're going to burnish the edge here. And then we're going to set it off to the side. And then we have 2 pieces of paper. Of course we have 2 pieces of paper. Silly Jenny. We have one piece that is 2 3/4 by 3 3/8. And I've in Shy Shamrock, and I've embossed that with the embossing folder. We have one piece of the Bright and Beautiful Designer Series paper, and it is the Lemon Lolly and White Stripes. And we're going to use that. And then we have another piece of 2 3/4 by 3 3/8 basic white, which is where we're going to do our stamping on. And then we also have a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 that we're going to stamp the smaller daisy on in the corner to make the inside for our cards. Let's go ahead and do the inside of our card first. And we're going to be using our Memento Tuxedo Black, as well as 2 Stampin' blends. We're going to use Lemon Lolly and Dark and Light Shamrock, Shy Shamrock. So let's go ahead and stamp our 2, or we're going to put 3 daisies on here. I'm going to do 1 towards the top, and then we're going to do a couple off to the side. There we go. In groups of 3. We're going to do another one right about here. All right. We'll set this aside and cover that, so 1, I don't get my fingers all mucked up, and 2, so it doesn't dry out. So thank you, Patty or Tammy. I'm glad you think it's pretty. All right, we're going to go ahead and clean that up real quick with my alcohol swab, and that should dry real fast. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and color these in. And we don't need the Shy Shamrock for this one because it's just the daisies. We're going to color this. We want it to dry. Actually, you know what? I have found it's better to do the stamp and then let it dry for a little bit. And then you can color with the Stampin' blend. That way the black ink doesn't blend or bleed. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to stamp the corner floral pattern. And so I'm going to do this because it's a bigger stamp. It's easier to pat the ink on than it is to pat the stamp on the ink pad. Oh, there we go. And let's go ahead. The single daisy, you overlooked the single daisy. I did too, and then I saw it. I'm going, oh, I need to use that. That would be perfect for the inside of the card. And we're going to just do this on the longer and, well, of course, the longer side and the shorter side of the rectangle. And so there we've got that. We're going to color that in just a minute. What we're going to do, I love the daisies. Daisies are my mom's favorite flower, and I've actually come to like them because they last a long time. So if you grow them, I can't grow them, but if you can grow them and you cut them and put them in your house, they tend to last a while. So let's go ahead and put the rest of the card together while we're letting the black ink dry here. And we're going to do, again, I said Shy Shamrock is my card base, 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. We folded it over and burnished it. We're going to go ahead and put our 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Bright and Beautiful DSP on there. Let's get our glue. Let's see if we can get it. I let this sit for a little bit, and it looks like it might have clogged up a little bit. So let's see if we can, you know, sometimes it, oh, there it's coming out. There we go. I think I might be towards the end of my bottle. So I'll twist that top cap a little bit so it sort of releases. It's sort of like pounding the side of the Heinz 57 jar. All right. So we're going to go here. I got this for Christmas. I got a glue holder. I'm so excited. I got it for Christmas in my stocking this year. So Santa knew what I needed. All right, we're going to go ahead and put that right there so that we have our base. And then we're going to go ahead and put the embossed piece, which is again 2 3/4 by 3 3/8. So we're going to put this at an angle here. And this, actually this layout is from our catalog. It's on the sketch page. I can't remember the exact page of it. I'd have to look it up in the catalog. I believe it is, wow, that's drying. I'll look it up. Gerber daisies are my favorite, but they always start falling over so soon. But I do love Gerber daisies. Let's see, where are our sketches? I'm trying to remember what page our sketches are on. Oh, there they are, page 22. And we are doing this sketch right here. But what I've done is I've modified it by taking out the extra, there's usually like a bow or ribbon and then a little piece for the sentiment, but I wanted to actually put the sentiment inside this card. So we did that. We're going to do that. All right, so that is drying, and this has given this enough time to dry as well. So let's go ahead and color these in and just do a little bit of coloring. Today I'm going to be doing this card, which is a little more involved, and then the other card I'm actually doing two versions of it. I'm doing just a basic ink and paper, meaning no coloring. It's just going to be the stamp and the sentiment, and I'm going to do it with two colors, and then I'm going to actually do the same stamp, but I'm going to show you how we use blender pens to color it in, and so we're going to do that. All right, let's go ahead and color in our daisies again. So I'm not sure how I hope everybody had a good week. I had a great week. So back to work, working with kids. I'm having fun. One of our newest groups of kids age that I'm working with are kindergartners, and they're so stinking cute. So working with kindergartners and fifth graders and second and third graders. And then on Tuesday, if you were watched my Teach It Tuesday with Tammy and Jenny, you would have heard that I was a little on the tired side and my voice was a bit scratchy because I actually subbed the second half of the day and worked with first graders and fourth graders. So last Tuesday, I worked with all grades. The only grade at the school that I didn't work with was TK. And that's fine because they're not big readers at that point anyway, and I teach reading intervention, so wouldn't work with them. All right, let's see. Almost done with coloring. And what I like about this is the coloring is very simple. Just takes a little bit. Oh, there's a bud there. It doesn't take a lot of in-depth coloring or detailed coloring. It's just sort of mushing it around. And this, I like using the bullet tip point for because the pieces are smaller. And then let's go to Shy Shamrock. And I'm using, that was the dark lemon lolly, so it has the darker color to it. I may have used light lemon lolly on the last one, I'm not sure. And then we're going to use Shy Shamrock, the lighter one. And we're going to just take a couple strokes here because it sort of blends and bleeds, not bleeds, but it sort of moves out. All right, we'll touch, just a little touch there. There we go. So, I don't know. I can't believe we're halfway through January already. But, I don't know, I'm just so focused on this, I'm not sure about talking. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. I don't know. Oh, you know what I was going to ask? It's a 3-day weekend for those of us in education and other people too, because it's Martin Luther King birthday. So does anybody have special plans for the weekend? We're just hanging out. So I'm going to do some cleaning in my craft room. I'm going to be doing some shredding of papers. I've got a thick box of papers that need to be shredded. All right, there's our flowers. And I'm going to now do my Just a Note in black ink because I think green ink would look nice, but I think it would be too much, especially since I'm using the Shy Shamrock resin dots, excuse me. So we're going to do it in black. And we're going to do Just a Note. There we go. All right. Okay. Oh no, Jason's sick. I'm sorry. Plans on hold. Yep, plans are always on hold on that. I'm sorry he's not feeling well. All right, we're going to put that off to the side. And let's go ahead and attach now our card. We're going to put it at an angle. Let's see if my glue is still working. Yep, there it goes. All right. Well, I hope Jason feels better real quick there, Patty. It's no fun when loved ones are sick. All right, we'll do that. I know Brian was really sick, Hey, Tracy, welcome. I hope you're having a great time. A good Friday. Happy Friday. All right, let's go ahead and put our Shy Shamrock, which is this one here. They have Summer Splash, Petunia Pop, Shy Shamrock, Peach Pie, and Pretty in Pink. And we're going to go with the Shy Shamrock over here. And we're going to put, just sort of spread them out a little bit. I think I'm going to go with the large one up here. And then we're going to go with another small one right there. All right. I love how you can just put them wherever and it looks great. And we're going to put the inside of our card together. And let's put glue on this and put our inside of our card together. You know what? I love the font on this sentiment too. I love it. It's a script, but it's not difficult to read. And that's what I love about it, because so many times script is difficult to read. And I love how it's not difficult to read, and it's bold and it's big. So it takes up space. So there we go. There is our first card. We're using our Corner and Bloom stamp set from the Celebration catalog. And we're using one of our new in colors, Shy Shamrock. And we're using a returning designer series paper. It was in last year's catalog, and it actually carried over to this year's catalog, which is exciting because in a couple of years I've been doing this. This is the first time I've seen designer series paper actually carry over from one annual catalog to another. But there's our first card. Now I'm going to show you our second card, and we're going to do this. We're going to do something like this. And what I've done is I've used the largest stamp in the Corners in Bloom. Let's see, this stamp here, the largest stamp. And we're going to this is truly a simple, it's stamps, ink, and paper, and that's it. No embellishments, no nothing. And we're going to make it, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to zhuzh up the envelope to go with this to match it. So, all right, let's go ahead and we're going to do this. And then I'm going to show you an even more basic. This is my stepped up version. Let me show you the basic version first. We'll do that. And the colors I used for this one are Blueberry Bushel and Granny Apple Green. And the sentiment is in Calypso Coral. So let's go ahead and burnish our paper. And I have chosen on this, because the white is the card base, I'm using thick white. And it is an 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And we're going to go ahead and do this. Now, I'm going to share with you a tip that I have. It's actually, I do it quite often, but I'm going to do it even more so for this one. I'm going to stand up while I'm doing this so I can make sure I get a good, even stamp. And I get it in line with the edge of the paper. And sometimes I like to lay it so it's flat, but I'm going to have to be careful because of the as close as it gets to the fold. So here we're going to ink up our paper, our stamp, and again, this is one of those stamps because it's so big, it's better to tap the stamp pad onto the white Gerber daisies and brown centers. Ooh, that's pretty. I've never seen white Gerber daisies. I've seen them on all sorts of other colors. All right, let's see if I can get this centered. We're going to do this and set it down. And we're going to push down and I like to just sort of rub over the part of the stamp to make sure it's down and lift up. And then we're going to go ahead and do it down below. And the first stamp isn't difficult. It's the second stamp, getting it to line up so it doesn't overlap, that is a little funky or not as easy. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and line up. Let's see. And hopefully this is it. Put it down. We're going to rub. All right, let's lift it up. Ah, perfect. Love it. All right, let's put this off to the side so I don't get ink all over my hands from that. And then let's stamp the sentiment, and this will be the most basic of it. And then I'll show you how we're going to stamp it up. This is really pretty just as is, without stepping it up a little bit. And we're going to put our stamp, I appreciate your thoughtfulness, right in the middle. There you, and there's your first card. And if you wanted to go more, not me holding my breath, I wasn't holding my breath either. Actually, I was talking, so I couldn't be holding my breath. But when I was practicing it, I was holding my breath. But you could do it this way. If you wanted to step it up a little bit without coloring, you could add a little embellishment to it. But this is just a pretty basic, I love the colors, the blues and the coral together. They're so pretty. But now what I'm going to do is we're going to close up the Calypso Coral, because I don't need that one anymore. And we're going to grab our blender pens. And I've got my blender pens here. And I'm going to grab a piece of scratch paper. And here's my scratch paper. And I learned this technique from Patty. And you use the blender pens. A lot of times people will stamp and then they'll pull from the ink on the paper already with their blender pens. Or they might smoosh down, which you've seen I've done in the past on their lid. Well, I learned from Patty that these lids are actually not met. They don't give as much. And so you could actually, if you do it too hard, can break it. I know there were times when I'd hold my breath when I was trying to do it, afraid I was going to break my ink pad. But what I did learn from Patty, what we can do is you can actually take your blender pen and just touch the tap the corner and pull some ink off of it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this and get some of that ink off, because I don't want it to be too dark. You can see it lightens. And I'm going to go from the inside out. I'm just going to brush it on. And I'm going to brush the darker color on the inside where the lines are at. And then as it lightens up, I'll get the rest of the petal. And I like how it lightens up a little bit as you're running out of the ink on the blender pen, because I love that. And you can pull a little bit of the color from those. I'm going to do a little bit more and pull a little bit more out. And we're going to do this. I won't do the whole card, because that will take me forever and a day. But I'm going to do this. I'll show you what I'm doing for the blues. And I did the buds. I did a darker color, a darker blue. So I left a little more ink on it. And then I'll show you, we're going to do the same thing for the green. I'm going to do it with the Granny Apple Green. And with the blender pens, it stains it. But if you rub it like this, you can see as soon as there's no more color coming off, like now, then you're not going to color. So if I wanted to, I can. I'll show you. I have one that I usually have one that I have for blues, one for greens, sort of like my blending brushes. But you can use a packet of 3 of the, because they come in packs of 3. This is how they look. You get a blender pen, packs of 3. And you could use, and there's 2-sided, so it's actually 6 tips. And you could use all 6 tips for all 50 colors that we have in our rainbow of inks and colors, because as long as you clear it off, none of that ink stain will go into this thing. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that too with here. Granny Apple Green. I'm going to tap it on the green. And you can see there's a little too much dark. It's getting lighter. Okay. And we're going to go this way. Now, because we used Blueberry Bushel ink, that will bleed a little bit if you touch too much to the blender pen. So I just dab it on there. And I try not to rub too much on the leaf. And I try and stick within the lines so I'm not actually touching the outer lines of the leaf. If I touch the middle line in the leaf, not a big deal, because then if it bleeds a little bit, then it just sort of looks like what it does on a real leaf in terms of it's not crisp. Well, some of them are, but some of them aren't. But we're just going to touch a little bit. And I just love the granny apple green with this. Matter of fact, I think after I get off the video, I'll probably finish this card up because I really like this. And you know, it's funny, as I was playing with this yesterday and I talked to a couple of my friends and I showed it to them and I'm like, I showed it to Patty and Tammy. I'm like, what do you guys think about this? And they're like, it's pretty. I'm like, well, I'm not sure. I'm not digging it. And they're like, no, you add a little color or use the, and I added the green and I'm like, what do you think now? And they're like, oh, that's nice. So I really like this. Yeah, we're going to finish this up. So you really love this Stampin' Blue. It's very nice in blue. I actually have a couple other, when I was playing around with colors, let me show you. So if you want to see what this looks like when it's finished, this is what it looks like when it's finished. And of course, everyone is going to be a little different because the coloring is going to be a little different, but this is the general idea of what this looks like. I'm glad you love it. Thank you, Tammy. So I'm going to finish this one up later, but here's this one in, I believe this is Pool Party and the Calypso Coral, which is really pretty if you are looking for something light and pastel-y. I also did it in, Peacock, Pretty Peacock, but I wasn't a big fan of it in Pretty Peacock. I did try it in, and to color it with, I think this was Lemon Lime Twist. I wasn't sure, but I wanted to try it and see what it looked like with the yellow flowers. Maybe if I used a darker green with a brighter yellow, it would be pretty. So, you know, not big on that, but we'll see. Maybe it'll grow on me. And where's my Pretty Peacock one? I don't know what happened to my Pretty Peacock one. Can't find it. I got to clean off my desk is what I really need to do. That's what I'll probably be doing this afternoon. So gorgeous. Patty, you see it's gorgeous. Are you talking about the Pool Party or are you talking about the Lemon Lime Twist? I'd be curious to know which one you think is gorgeous. I really like the Pool Party. Part of me says that's Lost Lagoon, but I don't think so. I think it's Pool Party. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's Pool Party. Because it's not, there's not enough green. Oh, I don't know. You know what? Let's try something out real quick. Why the heck not? Let's just go for it. Let's see if that's Pool Party or if that's Lemon Lime Twist. Let me clean off my stamp real quick. Because now I'm curious to know since I didn't write it down. Silly me for not writing it down. But let's go ahead and go, let's try it with Pool Party. And yeah, I think it is Pool Party. So let's go ahead and let's do this. I'm gonna stand up and stamp it again. This might come out a little blotchy because I don't think the stamp was 100% dry from me cleaning it and there was too much water on it. Yeah. But it was definitely, that was Pool Party. Definitely Pool Party. But that one's pretty. So, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to try Lost Lagoon on the other one just because I'm curious. I'm curious. They say curiosity killed the cat, but here we go. Let's try the Lost Lagoon on one side. I think I need to take a paper towel to this and dry it off, my stamp. Ooh, the Lost Lagoon's going to be pretty too. Lost Lagoon would be very pretty. So, you could ink it with Pool Party, then add some Lost Lagoon with a blending brush to the rubber just in the corner for an ombre. Ooh, Patty, you and your ideas, I wish I lived in your brain. When not so many tabs were open, but I wish I lived in your brain. That's an idea. I'm going to try that. I'm going to have to try that. All right, you know what? Let's explore real quickly. We'll do this, and then I'm going to find, I have a paper towel around here. Oh, there's a rag. I'm going to rag, dry it off. And Patty, we're going to test that out. How does that sound? Pool party? Your brain never stops. I want my brain to stop occasionally, at least stop going 100 miles an hour. But I wouldn't mind the creativity going a little more frequently than it does. All right, let's get this one. I like blues. All right. All right, here we go. We're going to do a little... All right, let's see if that works. Hopefully that didn't rub off the pool party. I'm not sure, but we're going to try this out. All right, here we go, folks. All right, Patty, are you ready? All right. I don't think I dried it off very well. I'm going to have to play around with this a little bit. You can tell where it dried it off because of the brush. I'm definitely going to play with it a little bit more, Patty, because I like the idea. What might look nice is if we do this. I'm experimenting right now. Sorry, folks. Is what if we just did a light... Oh, I like that. That looks pretty too. If you just do a light brushing in the corner. That looks really pretty too. So, well, Patty, you've got my brain working now. Now I might be in here a little bit longer tonight than I planned. So we're going to do that. Oh, but I wanted to show you how to zhuzh up the outside of the envelope for this card. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take, because in the corner in Bloom, they've got your corners, which have your florals, and then they have individual flowers that coordinate with some of these. Like these poppies coordinate with this one, and then this little daisy coordinates with this one. Then this little guy here coordinates, and this little guy here coordinates with this one. And I would say this, I'm not sure what the color, the kind of, it almost reminds me of a snapdragon. It coordinates with this a little bit too. It is faster than a blender pen. Yeah, I like that. So, all right, let's go ahead though. Let's coordinate. We're going to stamp our corner of our envelope, and this will zhuzh up our envelope a little bit. We're going to just stamp that there, and then we're going to use our blender pen a little bit to color it in. And then, ooh, yep, we're going to color this one in, but I just had it, oh, you know what? Yeah, we're going to color it in. But I had another thought. Wouldn't it be pretty if you take, you know what? We're going to do that. I am going to grab my darker blue blending brush, and we're going to take, I think it's got a little bit of the blueberry bushel. We're going to tap it just a little bit. And we're going to rub off most of it so it's light. And then we're going to go ahead and just do that lightly over the corner of the envelope. And that looks really pretty too. I like that. Ooh, I really like that. So there's our... Patty, you helped me come up with an idea for zhuzhing up my envelope a little bit more here. Check that out. Doesn't that look pretty? I just love that. And that would go so well with this card. So well with the card. So anyway, there we go. There are our cards. Let me go ahead and pull out the two cards that we made today. And I would love to know which one is your favorite. We have our large corner in Blueberry Bushel and Granny Apple Green, or we have our Shy Shamrock Daisies and lemon lolly daisies. I didn't even think about that, Tammy, until Patty was talking about the blending brushes. And then I had this idea of like, ooh, wouldn't that be pretty? So I would love to know which one's your favorite. Is it the blueberry bushel and granny apple green, or is it shy shamrock and lemon lolly? If you want, go ahead and put it in the comments down below. I would love to know. Team Blue Flowers. Of course, Tammy. That doesn't surprise me. Team Blue Flowers. So, all right. Oh, sounds like my husband and my daughter are FaceTiming each other right now. You love them, but you've got me thinking the Big Poppy Stampin' the Blues. Oh, I'm glad I have given you an idea, Patty, because usually you give me all my ideas. So I want to say thank you so much for joining me. If you want to know more details, you can go to my blog tomorrow, and it will be, everything will be there, www.stampinwithjenn.com, 2 N's in Stampin' and 2 N's in Jenn. And I will have all the tips and all of the details you need, including supplies for each one of these cards on there, along with pictures. You can watch a replay of the video. And yeah, that's what I'm going to have going tomorrow. And then next Tuesday is Teach It Tuesday with Tammy and Jenny, and Tammy and I will be using the Darling Dinos bundle, which I'm looking forward to playing with. And then the following week, I will be playing with, I don't know what I'm going to be playing with yet. I've got all sorts of new stuff just because I got some new things from online. Way, welcome, Sharon. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for joining us. I hope you do catch the replay. I don't know what I'm going to do next week for Fun Friday, but I'm looking forward to playing with one of my new sets. I've got an Easter set, and I might do that. I might play with the Easter set so that we can start thinking Easter, because Easter is at the end of, actually it's late. It's the middle of April. So anyway, so I'll play with that, or maybe I'll play with some more of my new fun online exclusives. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you later. I'll have to pick it out. I've got too many ideas floating through my head, and I can't show them all to you at once. So thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your 3-day holiday if you have it this week on Monday for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and have a great weekend. Thanks for everything. Bye-bye.